So today we're talking about facts, the differences, the similarities between a fixed indexed annuity and a variable annuity. Friends, I'm Gartner here at Epic Financial Strategies, and one of the questions that we've been really getting is, hey, there's these indexed annuities, there's variable annuities, and what are the differences? We hear so much about them, so let's get into that right now. Let's break down some different facts here, right? These two types of annuities are pretty similar in certain ways, but they're very much different in other ways. So let's start with some of the differences, right? If we're looking at a fixed indexed annuity, the key here is that it is fixed. So when your dollars go in, they're not going into the stock market, they're going into the general account of the insurance company. So your money is protected from market volatility. And the way you're going to get growth out of this is based on the index you're in. That insurance company is going to credit you interest based on that performance of that index. Generally, this looks like some sort of strategy where there's an upside and a zero floor, meaning if the stock market does -30, -20, we have another downturn, you actually get zero. But the money you put in is protected from that market volatility, right? But if the stock market's doing really well and it's up 5, 10, 15, 20%, well, you're going to get up to whatever that cap is that's available at that time. So you might get 12%, 10%, 5%, whatever those are for the index that you're in. So how is that different from the variable? Well, with the variable annuity, what happens is your money goes into a sub-account, and that sub-account is invested in some sort of market-based investment. So the money here that goes in, there's volatility. And that volatility means that in some years, you might lose money in that account. Other years, you might be up. So no different than your portfolio. Now, to combat that loss that could happen, what some insurance companies have done, they've really created a way to protect it through different riders. Next, we're going to talk about fees, right? Because you hear about fees whenever we're speaking about annuities. And so what's the difference here? Well, in a fixed indexed annuity, there's generally 0 to maybe 1% in fees. They're usually very, very low fee products. So low to no fee, right? And that's a great thing, right? When we hear about high fee annuities, a lot of times that was in these variable annuities, right? Because there's fees for the sub-account, there's fees for mortality credit. So you're saying, well, what's a mortality credit? What's a M&E charge? That's mortality and expenses. Insurance companies operate off of mortality and expenses, and whatever that cost is, you end up incurring that at some level. And they'll state that in the contract what that is. You won't see that as much in a fixed indexed annuity, but you're going to see it a lot more in a variable annuity. So one of the things synonymous with annuities is riders, right? Both of these types of annuities can have riders. And the reason you would have riders is I'm using these for accumulation today. But what does my distribution look like in the future? What are some of the riders that are available? Well, for a fixed indexed annuity and for variable annuities, a lot of times these companies are going to have an income rider. Why? Because I want to get eventually an income from all of this money that I've saved up, right? And the reason you use an annuity is to have a piece of your income that you can never run out of. When you add an income rider to an annuity, whether it's a fixed annuity or a variable annuity, what you do is you create an income stream that you can't run out of. You're thinking, well, okay, I'm starting to understand the differences, but which one is right for me? And obviously that's hard to answer without having a consultation. But let's think about it this way. If you're somebody that really can't stomach downturns in the market, you're probably going to want to look at a fixed indexed annuity. Why? Because you're never going to see losses in that account, especially if your annuity has zero fee attached to it, right? So you may not get the same upside that you might get in a variable annuity, but at least you're not having all of those downturns that you have to stomach. In converse to that, some of the variable annuities have some really fancy riders and features that can be attached to them. So if you want income and you want to be able to leave a nice death benefit to your family, there's some variable annuities that are out there that allow me to take an income stream for the rest of my life. And as long as there's at least $1 in that contract, my family gets the entire principal contribution that I made back as a death benefit. So that might be something that is of interest to you. Either way, what you want to do is sit with a professional who can help you go through and map out the differences and what's really right for your situation. So we've gone through a lot of information here, and you're probably looking for something more specific to you. What I'd like you to do is, if you're ready, click that link below. One of our team members will reach out and we'll walk you through this process. Make sure you get the right product for you.